Good morning and happy Friday to you on this Friday the 13th. Uh-oh, what happens on Friday the 13th? Hopefully something good. You just saw the intro showing a little snow. I don't think anything like that is in the forecast, but you better grab your umbrella and your raincoat and your galoshes. Who says galoshes anymore? All of that, I believe, might be needed tomorrow. We're getting closer and closer to the big man coming. Can you believe it? We are just 12 days away from Christmas Day. So, have you done all of your shopping? Well, you might want to go to Main Street in St. Charles. Maybe you'll catch a glimpse of us. I think Jim and I are going to head down there, and I'm going to go back about 12 years to something that happened on Main Street. I'll let you know more about that, and actually what's happening today on Main Street. One of the best, according to today's show. They're actually featuring different Main Streets. I think they should also go from here to Franklin, Tennessee, which for a long, long time was considered America's favorite Main Street. I'm not sure if they still get that title. And I don't think Hoda and Savannah are coming in town. I think they're just featuring different Main Streets around the area. But a shout out to my old coworkers. I think they're actually down there. They were broadcasting up until just about a second ago from Main Street. So hello to all the wonderful shops on Main Street. I love this time of year. You get to go through the old traditions and see all the different levels of Santa Clauses across the years. So very cool. And they also extend their hours on Wednesday evenings. So if you haven't been down there for their Christmas traditions, do so. Shop small businesses. All right. So good morning to each and every one of you. As you can see, I'm your host, Monica Adams. The show is The Real Monica Adams Show. If you're new to us, welcome aboard. I know that our guest, who's coming up in about 20 minutes, was up very early this morning, or probably up late from the St. Louis Blues game last night, because he was playing the organ. That's right. The organist for the St. Louis Blues and the St. Louis Cardinals is going to be joining us, Jeremy Boyer, and maybe we'll get a chance to get him to play some music for us, not on the big organ, but on a Casio keyboard. Let's see if he's a good sport. Jeremy will be on. We also have an update on a former guest of ours, Doc Krotzer, who is a Hollywood editor, and something that we talked about when he was editing the movie Roadhouse. I'm going to give you a follow-up as well to yesterday's very popular show. It's actually got some of the biggest views that we've had in a long, long time. We were at Specialty MRI with Jerry G. Well, after we got done with the show is what I want you to hear about this morning. So all of that coming up on the show. With no further ado, let's kick things off. We were talking about no snow, but what's going to happen this weekend as you make your plans? Well, we'll find out in our What the Weather segment.
Good afternoon and welcome back into this new More Weather Forecast video. Have a great day, St. Louis. Stay prepared out there.
And if you're new, maybe you don't know him, our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, on with us. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? So, yes,
Good.
no snow that we're talking about, but we're all making our outside plans. We are talking a lot of rain, aren't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, we got some rain on the way for the weekend, so it's going to definitely disrupt those weekend plans. If you have plans tomorrow, that's when we're expecting rain for our Saturday pretty much throughout the entire day.
Okay, so we're going to get to that in just a second. Let's just get some updates. We said 12 days. I can't believe it. I just cannot believe Christmas is almost here. Are you doing anything fun this weekend as you get ready for the holiday? Or is your family all done Christmas shopping?
Yeah, we're pretty much done. We put up, of course, all the Christmas decorations, so I don't think we'll be doing much this weekend. But my last day of school, or really my last day of school, was on Wednesday. My last exam day is on Tuesday, so that's almost Christmas break for me, too.
Oh, and then how long do you get?
We actually get a little bit longer this year because our school's under construction, so I think we get to like January 9th or something like that.
Whoa! Wow! Are you going anywhere?
No, not
Nope.
this year.
So home for the holidays. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about rain for tomorrow, but as we do inch closer, because now we're in that less than 2 week window, is it trending towards any kind of snow maybe for Christmas?
Well, really, the pattern as we go towards Christmas is going to be colder. I think as we head into later, mid to late next week, it's going to get cold, and that cold air is probably going to stay until around Christmas. But that pattern is going to be bringing that cold air throughout the eastern United States, and it's going to be a better pattern for snow, maybe towards the eastern seaboard, up through New York, down through Virginia, up in that I-95 corridor up there in the Northeast. Across St. Louis, it's not really the best pattern for snow. So a white Christmas probably not going to happen, but we can still hold out hope.
Unless you are all traveling. And of course, as we get closer towards the days leading up to Christmas, we'll be checking in with Beckett. If you are traveling, we're going to keep you safe. Otherwise, if you're home for the holidays, then just enjoy maybe the colder weather. All right, well, let's talk about this rain. What's the timing of all of this? So we'll get through today and then let us know what's coming in the days ahead.
Yeah, so this morning, right now, we got a temperature of around 21 degrees, dew point only at 13 degrees. Very dry air in the St. Louis area right now, and cold, of course, as we are in the 20s. Again, 21 degrees, overcast skies going into this afternoon, warming up to 40 degrees, mostly cloudy skies pretty much throughout the day. Now, looking at that 7-day outlook, again, 40 as our high today, mostly cloudy skies this afternoon, 35 as our low tomorrow. Again, 100% chance of rain starting early tomorrow morning and lasting through probably around the evening time, with a high of around 45, which is average for this time of the year. High of 45 is average, low only at 43. Then heading into Sunday and Monday, really warming up, getting close to 60 on Monday. We thought we were done with getting close to 60, and this actually may be the last time until spring, but we'll see. Looking at Monday, again, 59 degrees, 80% chance of rain, so that's going to be another day to grab your umbrella on Monday, but then getting some sunshine and cooling down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and again, like I mentioned, Thursday and onward towards Christmas is that when we're going to be seeing that cold air come into the St. Louis area.
I got to tell you, Beckett, I don't remember what year it was. It's within the last 5 years for sure. I remember having my mom over Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day, and it was like in the 70s. I remember us being outside, and I almost wanted to reopen the pool. We've
I,
had some crazy up and down weather, haven't we?
we have, because I remember, I think it was 2022, we had like -5 or something as well. So it's you never know for St. Louis Christmas.
You do not. Well, thank you again. This is aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. Let them know where they can follow you.
Oh, more weather on Twitter and YouTube.
All right, everyone, please do so. So if you want to know in the days that he's not on with us, what you can expect for your area, he not only covers St. Louis, but he's also keeping an eye all throughout the United States. And he's probably going to try to chase the snow again if it gets big, because he did so
Yeah,
last year. All
that'll be
right,
awesome.
Beckett. Well, thank you and have a beautiful weekend.
You too.
All right, that is aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. He's so good. For all of you that are new, welcome aboard. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, as well as YouTube, X, and Rumble, and then we added LinkedIn as a brand new platform. So if you have a platform that we're not on, let us know. We will continue to add for you. All right, it is 7:08 in the morning. Again, stay tuned if you are tuning in for Jeremy Boyer, the St. Louis Blues and St. Louis Cardinals organist. He'll be coming up with us in about 15 minutes. Yes, good morning to all of you that are signing on. Sean, Julie, Luann, I see you. Hannah, Linda, Butterscotch, who's that? Kathleen, for all of you that are tuning in this morning. I do want to say, for this community that's built, thank you so much. You are diehards. A lot of them call themselves Monica's Maniacs, and we're looking at doing things together next Christmas, caroling together. So let's start planning that, as well as mini retreats and workshops. Somebody asked me how they could get on a list to find out when those are coming up. Just go to info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. I'll give you information, or better yet, go to my website, TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and make sure that you subscribe and click so that you get information that you want. Good morning, Julie. What I was going to say is thank you to the community for all that you do. And many of you were sending out prayers to Chuck and Michelle at Defiance Ridge Vineyards. He did release, by the way, on the Wet Your Whistle show, why we asked for prayers. So watch that show. And I also want you to pray for, I don't want to give the information out because that's up for her, but Leona, who is a regular viewer of ours, she could use some extra prayers for something that she's going through personally as well. And to any of you, those silent prayers that are out there, and maybe you're not putting it out. Whenever we go to church and they always do the prayers, and then they say to all of you that are suffering. So I'll just say one fell swoop for any of you that are struggling, because not all people are happy around the holidays, right? Because sometimes you lose right around the holidays. So remember that. Reach out to those friends and family members to make sure that they're doing okay. Let's see, Irma Harrison, my nephew, Jeremy. Well, hello, Irma, and welcome to the show. Yes, Jeremy is coming up in a handful of minutes. Before we do that, let's do a little news you can use. And we're going to start off this morning with a congratulations to this couple, spouses with a combined age, are you ready for this, of 202 become the world's oldest newlyweds. 202 between the two of them. The bride is 102, her groom 100. They tied the knot in May after 9 years together. Congratulations to them. Now, we've got nothing on them, but I do want to say happy anniversary to this man, the love of my life. This is actually our dating anniversary. Happy 12th anniversary. Look at these pictures. We did not plan this, but look at 12 years ago. This is right around Christmas time, that red and black theme. That is us 12 years ago on the left. And on the right, that was taken at the St. Louis Fashion Alliance big holiday party just the other day. And I was talking about heading down to Main Street. Well, in this picture, that's exactly what we did. There on the right, that was the old winery that they had there. And I think it's a barbecue place now. I can't think, is it? I don't remember. I don't want to get it wrong. It's like Sugar Fire or one of those. They're down on Main Street now. On the left, that's my dog, Kaylee. And you know when they say, when you bring somebody into your life, whether it's a family member, if it's a friend that hasn't been around in a while, pay attention to how the dog reacts to them. And that's when you'll know the energy. She took to Jim right away. And that's when I was like, yep, he's a keeper. Let's make him stick around this time. So happy anniversary, my love. And I think we are going to head down to Main Street. I was mentioning at the beginning of the show, Main Street in St. Charles is being celebrated on the Today Show right now. Thank you, Carrie, for sending that to me. And I believe they're probably going around showcasing the merriest main streets in the United States. So how cool that St. Charles is being featured. Jill, you guys don't age. Well, you're very sweet. Where are you keeping the fountain of youth? Hats by Diane says, today's my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Michelle says prayers to Jack Higgins' family. He was a senior at Max's school. He battled cancer and unfortunately lost last night. Oh, so thoughts and prayers going out to them as well. Last night was Hockey Fights Cancer at the St. Louis Blues game. I was going to talk about that, so we'll get to that in just a second. Diane, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's also talk about all of you that have YouTube TV. This is probably not going to make you happy. Unfortunately, your prices for YouTube TV are going up beginning in January. YouTube subscribers will see a price increase. The streaming platform has announced changes to its monthly subscription fees, reflecting adjustments in service offerings, and it comes amid ongoing efforts to enhance the quality of its content and its features. Now, many users are curious about the new YouTube price for 2025. Well, here you go. The base plan is going to go from $72.99 to $82. That's going up a $10 increase. All of this while so many people are still struggling. So if you are a YouTube TV subscriber, what do you think about that? Does that frustrate you? Does it make you mad? Because you're like, come on, give us a break here somewhere, right? Also, I mentioned that in news with regards to nutrition, I want to do something more in depth of what we see in our food. You know, I saw a post this morning of why is E. coli on the increase? Exactly. I've been asking that for many, many months, Listeria and E. coli. But what are you putting in your body? No, cooking oil doesn't cause cancer, but a new study shows links to much seed oil to colon tumors. It has people worried about the safety of these cooking oils, but the lead study author says these other foods are more cause for concern. And so it's these seed oils, from canola oil to olive oil, coconut oil, and more. Cooking oils include that wide range. The nutritional pros and cons of cooking oils are a frequent subject of debate. And I would like to go more in depth on that, as well in depth about what foods we should be eating. Well, one of them, what do you think? The one food you should be eating more of, according to the new proposed U.S. dietary guidelines. I'm going to give you just a few seconds as I talk about the importance of what we're putting in our body. Yes, we've got genes and different things that might be up against us, but the more water we can drink, the healthier we can eat, the more movement we can do with our body. Again, we're doing everything that we can do. But what do you think? The one food you should be eating more of, according to the new U.S. dietary guidelines. And it's actually this push to eat more plant-based. It's on the rise. The new dietary guidelines have been released. And I'm going to say, I'll give you about 30 more seconds and I'm going to pass this along. So think, is it something on that picture? Is it more avocados? Is it more nuts? Is it more broccoli? Is it more green leafy vegetables? What do you think it is? Well, according to the US dietary guidelines, it is beans. Eat more beans for better health. We did just that last night, actually. We finished off Jim's chili, which is always amazing. Formerly, beans, peas, and lentils were a subgroup of the vegetable food group, but the new report recommends moving these foods to the protein food group to encourage more plant-based protein consumption. When we talk about eating more plant-based, we're not talking about processed foods. We're talking about, think about the things that we go back to centuries ago. It's what was there in the roots. So beans, peas, lentils, first tier, nuts, seeds, soy products, second tier, seafood, third tier, and your last tier should be meat, poultry, and eggs, according to the US guidelines. Yeah, Linda, fiber, but also making it a protein source. All right, if you're just tuning in, again, just giving you some things to think about. We used to call them water cooler stories. So pass those along, talk about them a little bit more. And then next week, I'm looking to get a dietitian on to go more in depth into what's in our food, why is there a rise in E. coli, listeria, etc. Okay, let me do a little congratulations, first of all. And we're going to play a clip to take you back. Do you remember when I had Doc Krotzer on? Now, Doc is an editor in Hollywood. He's also tied to our dear Michelle Harmon. Do you remember Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie Roadhouse? So Doc was on set with us. And when he was on set, I made a particular comment, and it relates to some news, follow-up news that I want to give you today. Give it a listen. I loved it. Michelle loved it. And I've seen like mixed reviews on it, but I'm like, okay, I heard some guy the other day on KMOX actually, and he said, well, it's probably not going to win any awards. And I was like, come on, don't be Debbie Downer. Give me a break. You don't know. I was super, and I absolutely did love it. I like the original, of course, with Patrick Swayze. Do I think it measures up to that? No, but it was good. Well, Doc is now nominated for Best Edited Feature Film, non-theatrical, in the 2025 AC Eddies. Have you ever heard of the Eddies? I didn't say Emmys. It's the Eddies, not the Emmys. It's a prelude to the Oscars, though. The Eddies are considered a barometer for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Best Picture and Best Editing categories. The ACE Eddies is one of the longest running award shows in the entertainment industry. So Doc is nominated by his peers. So according to him, it's a really big deal, right? The respect from your peers. The award ceremony is coming up next month in LA, and he is up against Am I Okay and Unfrosted. I have not heard of or seen either one of those. Since I looked at this, people were saying, oh, well, yeah, Unfrosted. That's the movie talking about Pop-Tarts and I guess Jerry Seinfeld. Am I Okay? Let me know more about that one. But congratulations, Doc. I think you got it. We'll do another follow-up to see if in fact he does. Now, before we get to Jeremy Boyer, I mentioned Hockey Fights Cancer Night. And evidently, I understand that our dear friend and former guest on our show, Kelly Chase, was there last night. There were a lot of people in the audience that I'm sure are currently battling cancer. They're a survivor or they lost someone. You can go around that entire stadium. We've all been affected, right? Well, he was there. He's back in his fight. The Blues, unfortunately, did not pull out a win for him. They lost to San Jose. The final was 4-3. They are back in action against Dallas. So back on the road. Okay, let's give you another follow-up. Yesterday, what a huge show. Did you get a chance to see yesterday's show? If you did not, please go and watch it. It was a big one. The following of that one just keeps growing and growing. I had a lot of people on my personal page, my professional page on Facebook alone saying, I'm making a call. I want to get a whole body scan because it gives you early markers for cancer that we're talking about and 500 plus other conditions. Imagine Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, I could go on and on and on. If you see something, what it's doing is giving you a base, a guideline to then take that to your general practitioner, to maybe an OBGYN, maybe to a cardiologist, who then says, yes, I want a deeper study into this. Well, That's what happened. And I always like to be real with you. So after we wrapped up the show, Jerry G, the owner of Specialty MRI in Fenton, again, the only one in a 5-hour radius that is offering a whole body scan, he looked at me and said, okay, Monica, I just wanted to get, with your permission, I didn't want to say the news to Michelle while she was watching the images being taken, or to anybody that was asking yesterday. But he said, I did find something. And again, I'm releasing this to you. So it's not a HIPAA problem with Jerry or anybody else. I'm saying that we can pass this information along. I want to be real. And I said, wouldn't it be truly amazing if we saw something and were able to catch something early? Well, I don't want to get alarmed. I don't want you all to be alarmed either, but there are a couple of things that popped up that we want to go a little bit more in depth. So before we get to Jeremy Boyer, take a look. This was after the show. So after we did the show, Jerry wanted to take me back to take a look at some of the images that we had done, and there was a reason for it. So Jerry, what are you seeing here?
So with your permission,
with my permission, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can see on your right side of the kidney there is like a dot or something, white spot there. So that could be something. So we need a radiologist to look at it.
We can't say what.
Yes.
It could be cysts,
yeah,
maybe.
It could be. Yeah.
This is on my right kidney.
Yes. On the right side, it could be. Yeah, we need a radiologist to look at it, and yeah.
Because it should all be the same color.
Should be same colors, and then so that probably you have this, but you never have a symptom. That's exactly what we're talking about.
I have no symptoms.
Yeah, there's something there.
Let's say this: if that progressed, what kind of symptoms would you have if you have kidney issues?
Well, the kidney failure. So maybe I don't know if
don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't.
Or something they have to remove.
But when I don't know anything about from a kidney standpoint because I've never had any. What would symptoms be for? How would someone know that they've got a kidney issue?
Well, from the urine, especially sometimes back pain.
Would they bleed or back pain?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you do the blood work, you can tell too.
And a lot of times people have, if they feel like they have back pain, they just think they have a back issue and they go to a chiropractor.
Yeah.
They're not thinking from a kidney standpoint. But that wasn't the only thing. I asked about my heart because I did have an alarm back when I was 19.
The heart.
Some of those things look like ribeye steaks. 3,000 images. And again, you're taking so many, so it's not like he can catch everything while he's taking them. That's why the doctor needs to look this over more in depth. So here's the heart.
So here's the heart. You see on the, again, I'm not the doctor.
Right.
As a technologist, I can tell. So for your right ventricle areas, kind of like, squeeze, very narrow.
How is that supposed to look?
Should be, at least a little bit more space, kind of compare. It's smaller than the left side, but it's still, you need something bigger or something, and on the right atrium is kind of these areas. I would suggest,
that they
the
look
doctor
deeper into that.
look deeper on this. We can do a cardiac dedicated heart study to study while the heart is like pumping.
Okay.
So that's dedicated study for that.
All right, so I told you, wouldn't it be fascinating if we caught something in my own scan? You and I need to do another show.
Okay.
After the doctor reads my 3,000 images, and I'm just going to be transparent and I'm going to be raw with you. I know a lot of you said that you wouldn't want to know. When he said, Monica, can you come back here? I saw something. Did I initially swallow and think, whoa, what did you find? Sure, that's human nature. But then I immediately was able to do the transfer in my brain of, well, then let's figure out what it is. And then let's go from there. So we're going to do it. Stay tuned. We'll let you know what happens. All right, everyone. So the doctor did, in fact, read it, and we are going to go more in depth. I have a feeling this might be a continuing series. Do you have any questions, by the way, for me or for Jerry? If you do, let's load them up. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and we can have those in advance. Now, I know a handful of you, as I said, reached out saying that you wanted to have that. So specialty MRI, I grabbed this yesterday. This is showing that it's 50% off. In January, he can't do anything about it because he is in collaboration with Ezra. Ezra is the company behind this incredible MRI that's unlike anything I know I've ever experienced. And unless you've driven outside of St. Louis 5 hours, you haven't experienced it either. Whole body scan. So $999 is the offer right now that he is running. It will go to $2,500, so it's going to go up $1,500. But imagine if you can catch something before it progresses to stage 2, 3, 4, and on. That's what he's doing right now. And so a lot of you reached out and said that, you wanted to be a part of that. So let me give you the phone number, 636-333-1391. Hannah just dropped in the website for you, which is specialtymri.com, and the address, 1823 Smizer Station Road in Fenton. So we are going to go a little bit more in depth. There's a doctor from the Cleveland Heart Health Institute that's also looking at this. And I do have a history in my family of cardiac disease. Cancer runs rampant on both sides. Never had anything with regards to kidney. That one surprised me a little bit. It may just be a cyst and maybe it's no big deal, but there we go. That is what we found. Pretty fascinating, huh? So some follow-ups for you. All right. Are you ready for some music and to find out the man behind the organist? And I'm not talking about Stan Can. I'm not talking about Ernie Hayes. I'm talking about Jeremy Boyer. Yes, Jeremy is going to join us. He is the organist from the St. Louis Blues and the St. Louis Cardinals. He also does mass at a church in South County. We're going to talk with him, find out a little bit more about how this all came about. How did he ever become the organist? And we got an old Casio keyboard we're going to pull out. Let's see if we can get him to play that. All right, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, by the way, everyone that's tuning in, and spread the word and share this because we can change some lives together. Why don't we grab some friends and family and sit by a toasty fireplace and enjoy the holidays? Where should we do that, Michelle?
Ooh, I don't know. How about a lovely place in Defiance called Sugar Creek Winery?
Right there, live December 28th, we will be doing a mobile Monica for you. But the entire day is going to be a blast from noon to 6 p.m. Great wine.
Yes.
Great food. Great music. More importantly, I love history and sitting down and thinking 30 years ago, the dream and the progression. Mm-hmm. We're going to do all of that. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited about finally winding down after the holidays.
Right?
Because it is going to be crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, kind of. We're going to be between the holidays.
That's true. This is true. But the Christmas holidays tend to be a little bit busier in my household.
So Christmas to New Year's, right smack dab in the middle. We're going to sit down with some friends and family. And I want to see you. She wants to see you. We want to meet some of you for the very first time. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We would love for you to be here. Some giveaways galore as well. Sugar Creek Winery and Judgment Tree Distillery. Do you know you can have vodka and brandy? And the distillery is right here on the property. So come join us. We can't wait. We're going to toast you together. Sugar Creek Winery, The Real Monica Adams Show. We're collaborating December 28th. Can't wait to see you. I love that music, but we're going to talk about some incredible music today that I bet each and every one of you, your kids and adults alike, have heard from my guest today. So we're going to talk about Jeremy Boyer. Now, when I say that name, you may not immediately say, I know who that is. I saw him on X and immediately reached out to him and he responded like that. And I said, Jeremy, I want to have you on the show. I wish we had him live with you. So I am going to always be honest with you. This is recorded right now. If we were live, I would have you shout out, request of what maybe you would want him to play for you. But let's give you a little background on Jeremy Boyer. He began to play the organ when he was 12 years old at his church. He went to Potosi High School, played 4 sports a year in addition to being in all the bands and choirs at school. So his marriage of the love for sports and music led him naturally to this field. What field am I talking about, right? We're incorporating sports and music and playing. Jeremy Boyer is here with us, and Jeremy is the one that you hear play at the Blues games, at the Cardinals games. So you may not have seen him before, unless you're around by where he plays, but you've definitely heard his music. Thank you for taking some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
You actually you have a pretty far drive, so you come in and you play Mass in South County.
Yes. Yeah, at St. Francis of Assisi, there off of Telegraph.
I love that. Now, let's go into this. So again, 4 sports a year. First of all, you were busy.
Yes, very.
And in all the bands and all the choirs.
It was a small school, so it was easy to
Okay.
to do all
Otherwise,
the things.
I was like, Jeremy, you're an overachiever.
Yeah.
So how early in your life, I should say, did you start playing the piano, the organ, and the other instruments?
I was about 12. I was a pretty quick learner. And like I said, I was in band and choir, so I could read music. And I just tried to apply what I knew to the keyboard and kind of plucked my way along and got a little bit better and better.
So 12-year-olds, as we said, at the church. But did you ever, even before that, like can mom or dad or anybody else in the family say you actually were kind of like tinkering around at an earlier age?
Not really.
No?
I mean, like it was about a year, and I was like playing well enough that I could play, competently. I guess some things, I could get by.
How, though, do you transfer from that to the Blues and the Cardinals ever getting a chance to say, hey, this guy's good, we want him to play for us regularly?
It was a long road for sure, but from 12 to I think I was like 27 when I started with the Blues. So about 15 years, but I'd listen to games when I was at home as a kid, and I'd like try to play like, Ernie Hayes was the organist at the time, and I ended up getting to study with Ernie Hayes later on in life.
Wow.
In college years, and but trying to play what he would play, and I'd try to mimic that on the keyboard when I was at the house and learn that way.
I was going to say influences.
Yes.
There are so many iconic people that we have from St. Louis that we should be so proud of. But you think of the organs, and that's the other cool thing, is being able to see that. In the media, I've had a chance to go up there, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is what they play on. But when we see these videos of you, it looks like it's like just huge, right? It's all the angles and everything, but it is still pretty massive, as opposed to what we're going to have Jeremy play today, which is a little Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
But when you first sat in front of that, did you get chills?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And whenever you're at Busch Stadium or at Enterprise Center, it's the history and the legacy of the teams, and they have the big footprint to follow with Ernie Hayes and Norm Kramer at the Blues, and it's special, and it's something I don't take for granted.
Well, of course not. Look at that. Who made those jackets for you?
I had 2 different folks. Jordan Fly had made that one for me, and Eileen Engel made the blue one.
Look at this.
Norm Kramer, the original blues organist, had like a sparkly coat.
Right.
And this past off season, I actually lost like 80 pounds. I was just exercising and things, and so I needed like a whole new wardrobe. I'm like, let's do something cool. So
course.
they made these jackets for me. Eileen works for the Muni, and she does a lot of the costume design there. And
Okay.
so she was a natural selection for that. So they did a good job with those.
Very cool. And you posted something the other day that I was like, I got teary-eyed and got a chill. There was someone who had never been to a blues game. Do you want to tell that story?
Yes. So someone pointed out to me on TikTok that a girl, I guess, or woman, lived in Alabama, I believe, or in the South.
Alabama, yep.
She was about 7 hours from St. Louis, and she had saw my TikToks and my videos, and she enjoyed the enthusiasm that I bring to games and the life of, the music that inspires the team. And she was inspired to follow the St. Louis Blues. Of course, Alabama, they don't have a hockey team, or
Right.
at least an NHL team. And so she became a blues fan, which is awesome,
Because of you.
Yeah, which is just very cool. It's very humbling, and it's it is you don't really know what to say about something like that. It's so cool that you affect someone in that way.
Absolutely.
And this past homestand, she drove from Alabama with her husband to St. Louis to watch the Blues play.
And that was a great video because she sat there and she got overwhelmed when she understood what she was getting ready to experience after following him, listening to his music, and then being there in the arena where the Blues that she had been following. It's emotional when anytime you go to your first game. I don't care what age you are.
Yes, it was
The
very
excitement
cool.
of the audience, right?
Yeah. And just getting to see it in person, and it's a lot closer when you get into Enterprise Center.
Right.
It's a lot closer than what you see on TV. You're like, I'm about as far away as anybody is
Yeah.
in the bowl, and it's right there.
It is. It's like you're playing.
Yeah, it is.
If you're just tuning in, again, Jeremy Boyer, he is the organist for the St. Louis Blues, the St. Louis Cardinals, learning from some of the greatest and playing these iconic songs that we absolutely love. Let's give you a little bit more background on Jeremy. He went to Southeast Missouri State University, where he was a vocal music major, played organ just for fun, played organ at the SEMO baseball and basketball games, and then when he graduated, his friend Karen Livingston, who lived in the same dorm as him, was interning for the Memphis Redbirds, which was the Cardinals AAA, right?
Yes.
And so they needed an organist. She knew you played for SEMO baseball and was also studying with former Blues and Cards organist Ernie Hayes. So they called and asked if he'd be interested in playing there. So he did. You played what? Parts of 3 seasons there?
Yes.
So what did that mean to you?
It was cool. I mean, that's the first time you get to do professional sports. I started in the 2007 season with the Memphis Redbirds, which was the year after the Cardinals had won their first World Series in several years since the 1982 World Series.
Right.
And there were several players who were in Memphis who had played roles in that World Series. Being the AAA, they're just a level down. So whether it was rehab starts or just guys who were on the bubble back and forth between Memphis and St. Louis, it was so cool getting to see those guys play down there. And then for me, I'm in Memphis, and a lot of the guys who were on the 2011 World Series team, David Freese, Jason Mott, those guys were down there at the time, and I got to kind of grow with them into...
Yeah, you all grew together, right?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I ride the elevator up and down with them sometimes there in Memphis. It's a small ballpark, and...
Well, of course. I mean, you look at all of that, AAA or even younger, and you look back and go, oh my gosh, I knew them when, and now look where they are in their career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Okay, obviously, we can't bring Jeremy in without letting him play some music for us. You're good for that?
Yes.
But he's going to play on a Casio keyboard, which is nowhere near what he and Ernie and others have had a chance to sit in front of. However, he's a good sport. So we're going to play a little of the blues. We're going to play a little bit of the Cardinals. Do you do Christmas music?
I could do some Christmas.
All right, we've got to have some Christmas music since we're in the season. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to let you listen here. It might not have that whole magnifying that you're used to hearing again at Enterprise Center or at Busch Stadium, but a treat for us and for all of you as well. More with Jeremy when we return. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She said, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. Okay, this is going to be so much fun. If you're just tuning in, Jeremy Boyer is my guest. He is the organist for the St. Louis Blues and the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, he did it for the Cardinals AAA. He's played with Masses Church. So much more that we're going to find out about, because I want you to know the people behind whatever you hear or see in life. And for a lot of us, thousands upon thousands, we've heard how unbelievably talented he is. The great thing is, before he plays for us, the Blues actually noticed videos that you had put out, right? And that's how it all came about?
Yeah, so I was playing in Memphis, and I had to put some stuff on YouTube, and I think between that and the connection with Ernie Hayes, they knew who I was, and they reached out to me about their position.
Again, you never know what can happen by simply putting a video out there. I love how people's lives completely change. Okay, we're going to let you play a little bit for us. So take me to a Blues game, Jeremy.
All right.
There it is. Yes. The Blues have scored, Jeremy. The Blues have scored.
Let's go.
Exactly. So, how many seasons now has it been?
This is my 18th season.
18th season. What do you love most about being affiliated with such an incredible organization?
I mean, you never know, and it's the same with baseball. You never know what's going to happen any given night. And you show up to the arena, and like there might be something that happens that's never happened in Blues history before, and it's kind of cool. But other than that, I play out in the crowd at Blues games, so getting to interact with the fans a lot and seeing the look on, kids' eyes when they come up and they see the organ for the first time. And I try to invite them, let them come over and sit on the organ bench, when I get a chance, and get a picture on the bench or touch the keys. And
well, because you have no idea if you are going to end up having someone fall in love with it so much that they turn in. Maybe they take your position when you're ready to retire.
Well, and you always want to inspire that next generation of musicians too. And someone did that for me, and I'm forever grateful for that. So changed my life, and hopefully one day these kids will get to experience that joy.
So again, since you did get a chance to be behind so many iconic people that you watched as you were growing up, what was the greatest lessons that you learned from Ernie?
I think the biggest lesson I ever learned from Ernie, when I first started out, I tried to do like all the things he did, and I tried to do it exactly the way he did. And his thing was always be yourself, make this your thing, do your thing. And I still will play like some like classic tunes that Ernie had played. And people love those, and that's
like what?
Like Meet Me in St. Louis.
Louis, Louis, the fair.
So stuff like that.
Do you sing also?
Yeah.
So, all right, so play something for us and sing along with it. Jeremy's like, Monica.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for let's root for the Cardinals. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Very good, Jeremy. Very good. What do the kids, when they first meet you, do they say, can you play this? Can you play that? What do you most ask for?
I get requests a lot. It's funny because whenever I see kids nowadays at Blues games or wherever, and they come up to me or they're pointing at me, I already know they've seen my TikTok videos because that's where they're at, So that's fun. And, I do get requests, and the kids will ask me. And I have 3 daughters of my own, and I have...
What are their ages?
12 to 22. So, well, 12, 21, and 22. So I get... a lot of, I keep in touch with a lot of younger music, I think, through them.
Sure.
So a lot of things that they like, for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Are they excited? What do they say, by the way? Because, you think about growing up and certain ages where you're really, really close to your parents. Then you're embarrassed by your parents. Then you're really, really close to your parents again. So where are they in that kind of feeling?
I think that they are obviously very proud of me, and I'm very proud of them. And they love coming to the game. They love bragging on their dad, and I brag on them too. And my middle daughter, the brunette there, who's the middle daughter, she's 20, almost 21 now. She works for the team now too, and this is her second season as a Blue Crew member on she does the ice and dancing, and she's a very good dancer. And getting to work with her is very cool.
Of course,
she started going to games with me when she was little, of course, and grew up there at Enterprise Center. And now that she gets to work there, the one on the left with the black top, but getting to work with her is a joy too.
Sure. I was just going to ask if any of them were musically inclined. Obviously, dancing. Do any of them play or sing?
And they have all played music.
Yeah.
They haven't got into it as much as I have, but the little one still is pretty young, and she loves to sing. She'll play around on the keyboard. She always wants me to teach her things.
Sure.
So it's a lot of fun too.
Absolutely. So we have been looking at pictures and videos. My director, Zach, brought it up where we were looking and saw you, explain this, you were playing upside down.
Yes.
How did that ever come about?
I don't know. I think, it was just one of those things where it's like, I think I could do this. And I sat down, flipped around, and gave it a shot. And sure enough, I could do
happened.
It. Yeah. So, I play the Blues Go song, When the Blues Go Marching In, upside down. And
how did you do that? You can't even see. I mean, you just feel for the keyboard.
Yeah, just the feel for it. My hands are crossed, so they're kind of in the same position, but crossed.
That's talent.
Thank you.
I mean, come on, that's talent. Do you ever play with your feet?
On the pedals, I have foot pedals, yeah.
Sure.
So,
I don't have them here for you.
But I'm playing with with both hands, both feet. Usually there's somebody talking in my ear, telling me what to do or what's coming up, and or I'm singing. So yeah, it's multitasking at its best.
Absolutely. So when you're at Blues games, what's the feedback that you hear from Blues fans?
They're all positive. Blues fans are great. They're the best, and I always get, you know, they feel like they're just like one of me, or I'm just like one of them. I'm just a big fan, and we talk usually more about the game than we do about the music. But they'll come up and they'll ask me questions, and I'm happy to answer those. And
so you are a big part of the organization. Did you get rings?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, did you? You didn't bring it in for me.
I did not today, but yes.
There you go. So how? I mean, seriously, all I've ever thought was anybody that's ever presented with one of those, that or a World Series ring. Do you have both?
I have a 2013 Cardinals ring when they went to the World Series against Boston, and I have there you go, and then the Stanley Cup ring. You know, and I'm humbled. I sent cards to Mr. DeWitt, and I sent a card to Mr. Stillman and thanked them both for their generous gift, because they don't have to do those kinds of things.
Sure.
And I'm humbled to be a part of the organization and to have these experiences.
How cool is that?
Yeah. And my family's just behind me there on that picture.
So can you believe, for how I've been in this town my whole life, except for when I went away to college, I was not at that parade.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Alabama, probably with that woman who was looking to come back this way. I couldn't believe it, but we were going to visit family, and I just looked at my husband and went, we're not going to be there for the parade. You've got to be kidding me. Tell me, since you were there, and a lot of you obviously were as well, what did that mean to you? One, for being part of the organization and being a big part of it, but what it meant for our city.
It you know, everybody kept talking about it, and Bobby Plager, who is as integral in the St. Louis Blues fabric as anybody, you know, had wanted that since he began with the organization in the beginning of the franchise. And everybody kept saying, you know, when this happens, it's going to be the biggest party St. Louis has ever seen, and it really was.
Yes.
And I was under the arch on the stage where the team was supposed to bring the cup out. And, you know, we're thinking, okay, it's going to be an hour, 2 hours. They're going to be down Market Street and then be there. And it was like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because it was such a big party, and they were stopping, they're getting out, and they were celebrating with the fans.
Oh, they were celebrating.
Yeah.
We went Blues.
Yes. Yes. And that was a fun moment. We were on stage, and my boss at the time saw Brett Hull come up to the mic. He's like, oh no.
Hey, it wasn't just Brett. I mean, several of them. I mean, but again, and people, and that's the whole thing. People would criticize, oh, you're drinking in front of the kids. And I was like, they're celebrating.
Yeah.
They're adult. They're not driving a car.
Yeah.
They're walking down Market.
Yes.
They're coming up for you. I haven't had, obviously I wasn't there for that, but I covered sports for 12 years, and I was able, my proudest moment is covering when the St. Louis Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I was able to, we were in Atlanta for that, and then driving back home to make it back home in time through ice and snow. That was not a good drive, to make it back and celebrate with everybody. So I would think it was on the same lines. I don't know which crowds were bigger. Did they say with the Blues crowd, was it bigger?
Well, I mean, it was June, so it's probably at least because it was warmer out for sure.
Oh, we were freezing. We didn't care. You know, diehards, they don't care.
Yes.
Again, we're visiting with Jeremy Boyer. I knew this would be a fun one. St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Cardinals, Organist. You willing to play a little bit more for me?
Sure.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be back. And again, I wish we had you to all request some songs, but what I'm going to do is ask my team here if there's anything they would like to hear. We mentioned, well, we'll actually find out if Jeremy has a favorite Christmas song, and we'll let him play that for us. So more with Jeremy Boyer on The Real Monica Adams Show to come.
Monica's show, it's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. you. That's real confidence.
All right, welcome back. Jeremy Boyer again has been my guest. He is the St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Cardinals organist. Again, the Blues noticed him after they saw some videos and knew that he had been under the tutelage of Ernie. I mean, there he is right now. Yeah, you've lost weight. Look at you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. How incredible. So again, the Blues knew of his connection with Ernie, gave him a call, and asked about his interest in the organist position back in 2007. He interviewed and auditioned, and the rest is history. So the organist for the Blues since the 07-08 season, one of two organists for the St. Louis Cardinals since 2012, but he's also done special events for the Kansas City Royals for 5 years, from 2010 to 2015, the Memphis Redbirds, 2007 to 2009, the Southeast Missouri State organist from 2002 to 2008, and again, he is a class of 1998 graduate from Potosi High School, and then maybe if you go to church in South County, you might see him at Mass there as well. Okay, my team has been shouting out some requests for you. So for all of you Taylor Swift fans out there, I know Tia as well as Hannah that are on my team are big Tay-Tay fans. So they're going to let you choose. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
This is one of my favorites to play just because it's up-tempo and it's a little bit newer, but I guess my key changed.
Very good. Again, we didn't tell Jeremy anything that we wanted him to play, so he's doing all of this on the fly. Okay, what did Zach ask you to play? I'm not even familiar with this song. What is it?
Hot to Go.
Hot to Go. Who is that by?
Chaperone.
I don't know that.
She's from Missouri. She's a Springfield, Missouri girl.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we also, of course, since you can see all Christmas in our studio, we're in the season. He's playing at church, so we know the reason for the season. What do you enjoy playing most around this time of year at Mass?
I love "Oh Come All You Faithful." "Joy to the World" is another favorite.
What is the one thing you all have noticed? The big smile on his face. You so enjoy what you do. That's what I love. "Oh Come All You Faithful" is beautiful. Do you do Silent Night?
Yes.
I just think that, yes. That is the one that brings tears to my eyes. It always brings me back to being a little girl, and we were all around the Christmas tree. My grandma would actually take vinyl, right? Take the record and then put that on, and we would all the grandkids gather around and we would all sing that together. It's just a beautiful memory. It's all those things, right, that bring us back to a moment. I'm sure people come up to you all the time, "Jeremy, this reminds me of this reminds me of that."
Yeah, and music has that special ability to bring you back to a certain moment in your life, or a fond moment or a sad moment, and those things that you can kind of relish and think of and really meditate on or whatever, and I try to help them with that.
We talked in the very beginning about you being involved in band and choir and sports and all of that. Besides the keyboard and the piano, do you play other instruments?
Obviously I sing. I grew up doing like drum line and marching band, and played the saxophone a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
I played sax also
Yes.
when I was in grade school. And I just recently, so I might get some tips from him. I always wanted to play this, but where I went to school, they didn't offer piano.
Yeah.
And so I was brought back to it all the years later. I actually bought a grand piano.
Nice.
It's sitting in my house. No, I took lessons. A lot of you all know I was in a car accident. And so I read, I don't play. I would love to know how to play by ear, but I read. And so what happens is the positioning, it ends up triggering all these concussions. It's so frustrating to have been taken away, but I'm hoping to be brought back to it. What's the most difficult song you've ever played?
I don't know. It's you play so many songs, it's hard to kind of like keep in mind like what's what, I guess maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure.
How hard is it to play by ear?
It's not hard. You know, I wouldn't want to like do it on the fly necessarily, but you know, you could sit down and kind of like, okay, I got this. There's a player. And I don't want to mess up his name. I think it's Trent Frederick. Plays for the Boston Bruins.
Okay.
His parents obviously own Frederick Roofing, which is a local, and everybody knows the jingle.
Yes.
And during the game, I figured out how to play the jingle just in case he like scored a goal, or if he got a
Frederick Roofing.
Yes. So like I spent a little bit of time in the first period. Like if something happens, I got this ready to go, and I just from memory or.
By the way, Frederick Roofing, you should sponsor this show.
Yes.
I just gave you a shout out.
Free spot.
Right, absolutely. Again, Jeremy Boyer with the St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Cardinals. As you look at all the years that you've been able to be a part of this, do you see, okay, at some point, I want to be the lead to help somebody else come in and take this? How many more years do you want to play?
I think, and Ernie instilled this in me too. It's like you do it until you don't enjoy it anymore, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes, you are. Like I said, you can see it on your face.
But, and I feel like I've done just about everything you can do. I've played for a Stanley Cup. I've played for a Winter Classic, an All-Star game here in St. Louis. I've got to play for the Cardinals. I don't really know what else there is.
Right.
Really that it's on my bucket list of things that I would want to do one day. So I've done those things. So if I ever got to the point where I was like, well, I'm just tired of driving downtown all the time anymore. But right now I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it. So I don't see it happening right away.
No, and I hope you're in the position for a long, long time. Do they have an organist at the city games?
They don't.
They need one.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, wait a minute. I'm busy, Mom. So do you still live in Potosi?
I do right now, yes. And drive up and my mom and my grandma is still alive, and
wow.
It's special for my daughter to get to spend time with them, and especially her great grandma, and she was very close to her great grandparents, and getting to grow up with them is very special, and I'm glad that she's getting to get that opportunity.
So I want to ask this. You have it right here. What does that blue note? What does the Cardinal logo? What are those? If you have to like just wrap it up with a few sentences, what do those mean to you?
Well, they're important. They were staples in my childhood. They were staples in a lot of people's childhoods, and both teams are the fabric of the city. Those are the things that unite us more than divide us, for sure. And when people come to Blues and Cardinals games, it's not, we're not separate into individual categories. We're all St. Louisans, we're all Missourians, Illinoisans, and it's something that is important to everybody. And I'm honored to somewhat represent both teams and to get to play for both.
I love that you said it because it is so true. People can always concentrate on all the things that are going on in our world, and they always think that everybody's against each other. But you come back into an arena or a stadium, at least you start, hopefully, in a good place. People start to drink, and then they get into fights, and I was just like, come on, we're all here together, and it's a family sport. So watch what you're saying. Be respectful of others. Yes, we can have the fun rivalry between the other teams, but it really is. I've always heard from the athletes that I got to know really well that they really felt this, and it wasn't just them saying it, that St. Louis is the best sports town. You agree with that?
I do.
We have great fans.
Yeah, and that's why so many, especially St. Louis Blues alumni, are still here. They love St. Louis, and they want to make this their home and raise their kids. Keith Kachuk, he stayed around.
Walt.
Yeah, and his boys obviously play in the NHL now too, and his daughter's excelling in lacrosse, I believe, and so that's awesome.
It is. It's so fun. And again, we're going back to, well, these were the days that I covered sports, and, he was in it in those early years as well. I just love, not that I don't love all the players now, but it's all those household names. And I've actually asked that. Do you agree with this? Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I don't hear it as much, but it used to be. And someone said, well, no, Monica, they're not actually out as much as they used to be. A lot of the charitable things that all of the blues players used to do when I was in sports from 94 2004 to 2005. So they were everywhere, and they were these household names. Al McInnes was Chopper, Kelly Chase, Tony Twist, Brett Hall. I can go on, Pierre Turgeon, Reed Lowe. I can keep going on and on and on. But if I saw their number, I knew immediately who it was, or you would have nothing on and they were in regular street clothes and you knew who they were. I don't hear people saying that as much. I mean, look at that. The great one.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great year?
Oh, yeah.
Having him here, what did
Yes.
that mean to you?
It was awesome when Gretzky came over. I think I was in high school at the time, and you obviously knew who he was. Everybody knew who he was.
Of
he
course.
was a superstar. And to have him wear the blue note for a minute was incredible for anybody growing up watching the team. And getting to meet him, and I don't usually, I'm not the guy who stops and gets
stars,
pictures.
yeah.
Yes. But this is Wayne Gretzky. And I saw him coming
Exactly.
into the building and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is Babe Ruth of hockey.
Amen.
I'm getting a picture. And it was so funny. It was a cool story because I stop him. He's the coach of the Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes at the time. And I know he's busy and he probably gets it all the time. And I stop him. I'm like, Mr. Gretzky, can I please have a picture with you? And a concession stand worker was walking by, and this is the security entrance. And the guy was like, yeah, I'll take your picture. I give him the camera. This is like an old digital camera because this is before cell phones. And I give the camera to him, and he goes, okay, but first you got to tell me who you're getting your picture with. I'm like, are you serious? And Gretzky goes, hi, I'm Brett Hull. Nice to meet you. And the kid had no idea. And it was so funny, but he was such a good guy, and I love that.
He is a class act.
Yes.
Yes, I will never forget his time here. We were so proud to have him play and wear the St. Louis Blue note. Before we wrap up, tell me, because you've been at, again, have you even kept track how many?
No,
I was going to say a lot of games for the St. Louis Blues and for the St. Louis Cardinals. There are a lot of celebrities that come in town for our games. Who are some of the bigger names that you can drop?
Oh man, I don't know. Obviously Gretzky was there. Nelly's did a lot of games, obviously. You see a lot of guys who come in from out of town. Bob Bucher, who played for the Cardinals. I grew up watching the Major League series, the movies, and just a bit outside. And you're riding out the elevator with him, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Bob Bucher. And a lot of people with dignitaries from Major League Baseball, Hall of Famers, and Martin Brodeur played for the Blues for a minute, and getting to see him live in person quite a bit at Enterprise is cool. So,
did you meet, because he's a big Blues fan? Did you meet John Hamm?
I have not met John Hamm, although he was in proximity on the stage at the Stanley Cup, so that was kind of cool.
Did you meet he's unfortunately no longer with us, but Matthew Perry was in town, and he was actually sitting in the suite right behind us at one of the games. Were you at? Well, you should. I guess you were at that game playing for us.
Yeah, but I didn't get to. I didn't get to meet him. I don't get to leave the booth too much. I have to be back and ready to play.
You're on a short leash.
I met Young Gravy this year, which some of the kids may know. He's
who is it?
Young Gravy.
Young Gravy.
Yeah, a younger artist. Like I said, my kids certainly knew him. I didn't honestly know him going into it. And he came up to the organ booth and did some PA with John Hewlett for one inning. And I got a picture and I posted it. And my middle daughter's kind of fangirled a little bit. She's like, my dad just casually posting a picture of him and Young Gravy.
That's what's cool, right? That's what brings the generations
Yes.
together. So it's interesting. I sang the national anthem at a preseason Blues game many, many years ago, but I did it a cappella. So if someone's singing the national anthem, do they get with you in advance? Are you doing testing with them and then play with them? And also asking that question, how often do you have people say, I just want to do it a cappella?
Most of the time it's done a cappella. During the 2019 season when we won the Cup, I played with Charles Glenn quite a bit. And he would text me before the game because he would change the key a little bit depending on how he was feeling. And I would text me and say, hey, let's do D flat tonight, or let's do whatever. And I'm like, let's go. So we would do that. One time, an anthem singer didn't show up to the Blues game. And this is one of my first seasons. And I'm playing pregame. I'm just playing myself. And I hear in my headset they're talking about we don't have an anthem singer. And someone goes, hey, Jeremy can sing. And they're like, okay, we'll bring a mic up to Jeremy. And I'm not even getting to say yes or no, I'm playing. And I finished playing, and they're like, all right, it's time to stand for the national anthem. And they hand me the mic, and they're like, here you go. And I sang the national anthem.
Oh,
so
very cool.
But I played it obviously too. But so
you never know when you get the chance. You better take it, whether you're nervous or not. All right, well, we're going to wrap up. Jeremy Boyer, again, thank you so much. St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Cardinals organist. If you get a chance and you are at a game and you see him, give him a shout out. Tell him you saw him on the show. I'm going to let you end the show with whatever, whether it be a Christmas song or one of your favorites that you play.
Okay. Do a little bit, since we didn't get to do all of it here earlier. Let's see if I get my my sound up here.
There it is. Bum, 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 bum. I can see the Clydesdales. I mean, what an amazing thing to witness if any of you have never been to opening day, right? Gosh, they're so majestic, aren't they?
Yes.
Thank you so much. You are a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we were able to work this out. And to all of you, thank you. Get out to a Blues game, get to a Cardinals game, support our local boys, and enjoy him, again, wherever you go to do your celebration. Everybody.
Are you ready to celebrate the holidays? How about coming out to wine country with the Real Monica Adams Show? Right now, I am sitting in the new enclosed patio with Sugar Creek Winery and Judgment Tree Distillery. So if you like good wine, or maybe you like vodka or brandy, they've got it all for you. And on December 28th from 1:30 to 3 p.m., we're going to be broadcasting live right here. I want to see you, so start making plans. It's going to be a big day from noon to 6 of great food, great wine, wonderful music. More importantly, kindness among friends and family. Won't you join us? December 28th, we'll see you with the Real Monica Adams Show. We do. We haven't had a chance to do this in a while. Social media check-in. Boy, we got a lot of you still on this morning. 75 throughout some of the platforms, not even all of them on there. Thank you so much again, Jeremy. We had so much fun. And again, obviously it would have been super, super early for him since he played late last night at the Blues game. Again, Blues unfortunately losing the game, but back at it against Dallas. And he plays at Mass, so he wasn't able to come over. We taped that interview midday. He was a pleasure. So that's what I always ask you. Are there incredible human beings that you would like to see on our show? If so, reach out to me. Simple email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Let me know who it is. If there's a great business that would like for us to bring the show to them for what we call Mobile Monicas, reach out for that as well. Love you all so much. I again hope you have a beautiful weekend. I am going to head out to, I think, St. Charles Main Street with my hubby and celebrate our anniversary and do some shopping and make sure that we are all wrapped up and ready to go for Christmas, which, again, crazy to think that it is just 2 weeks away. It's just absolutely nuts to me. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend, and we will be back with you next week. By the way, Jennifer Warman-Bloss joins us on Wednesday to talk about some great services that they offer at Elemental Aesthetics and maybe some things you want for yourself or others on your holiday wish list. And then I'm going to get busy as we look into wellness subjects and medical subjects. Again, I'd like to go a little bit deeper into what in the heck is in our food and what is causing all across the world the rise in E. coli and listeria. It's just blowing my mind. And what about those seed oils? Not so good for us, huh? Jeremy's music and playing was great. Thank you, Luann. Wayne Gretzky, right, Julie, was fantastic. Ellie Scott, you are so welcome. She said, this was awesome. Great interview. Thank you for recognizing how awesome Jeremy Boyer is. You are very welcome. And to each and every one of you that are brand new watching today, click that subscribe or follow button. Again, it doesn't cost a thing. It just lets you know when we're on. You'll get the notification that we're live on whatever platform that you're watching on right now. Spread the word and let's affect lives together on a positive level. God bless you all. Have an incredible weekend, and we will see you next week.